Hey everyone, welcome back to Ideanthro Movement. Welcome back to week 2, where we are talking about skill development, one of the really important components or tenets of our movement practice. Specifically in today's episode, we are talking about the importance of building sequence and timing, or practicing and developing sequence and timing. Two words that you will probably never hear mentioned in a typical gym. Exceptions to that might be if you're at a CrossFit or an Olympic weightlifting center that are doing Olympic weightlifting, where timing and sequence is really important. It's actually really important in all movement, but in a typical gym setting, that's where you'll see it come to bear. So, let's talk about timing and sequence. Timing and sequence is sequence, the order when you're performing a movement. So let's think about throwing something, the order that you move the body. So if you are throwing, loading up, moving through the hip, torso, opposite shoulder, following through, and the arm follows through at the end. There is the timing, is the sequence of a throw, as opposed to, for example, trying to throw with arm, follow through with your body. You instinctively knew that that looked wrong, right? And timing is the way those fit together. How long does it take from one component to the next? So for example, we had the ball throwing where we're leading with the hip and then the shoulder following through with the arm. That was reasonable timing that I showed there, except it was all too slow. It should actually be something more like that. Another example of where timing might go wrong is if I went hip, shoulder, stop, arm. The sequence was right, but the timing was wrong. You get the idea. Timing and sequence are super important in skills because they allow us to do things optimally. And again, in the real world, sorry, itchy nose in this episode. In the real world, we want to get good at moving in the real world. The traditional gym industry thinks that the way to do that is just to build physical attributes like strength. But real movement is built up of skills, and one component of that is sequence and timing. So you'll see in our movement practice that we focus on things like sequence and timing, because the better you can get at sequence and timing, the further, let's use the throw example, but this is important in all sorts of things. It's important in how you pick stuff up off the ground. It's important in how you run. It's important in huge amounts of movement. It's important in how you might roll over. Sequence and timing is really, really important. The better you can get at the sequence and timing in any particular movement, the better you will do that movement with the strength you already have. Now, I'm not saying we neglect building strength, and you can look at the last episode where we talk about how skill development will build strength, not the other way around. But the point here is that there's more than one way to get good at doing things, and building strength is just one of them. Building skills is the other, and sequence and timing is a component of that. So we practice things like, how do we actually get good at that timing? If we want to, just for a moment, delve into something that might get a little politically incorrect, we'll see how I take this. But if you think about someone who's uncoordinated, unco, let's say, and if you actually break down what that means, because a lot of people will, and I've trained people in the past who would claim to be uncoordinated, and they'll talk about it like it's this fixed kind of trait of theirs. But if you actually break down what lack of coordination is, a big part of it, very often, is just a lack of sequence and timing. You can have someone who is uncoordinated and is strong as an ox, but doesn't move particularly well because they're uncoordinated. But often what's going wrong there is they just don't get the skill and the sequence and timing of performing it. And so it takes the concept of uncoordinated, and I'm going to avoid the way of being really politically incorrect that I thought I might fall into, but it takes something like, I'm uncoordinated, that sounds like a fixed trait that you can't do anything about, and turns it into something that, wait, hang on, no, wait, I am currently not coordinated, but if I work on the elements of skills, of which sequence and timing is one of them, or two of them, depending on how you look at it, then suddenly it takes this fixed trait of being uncoordinated and turns it into something that you can improve and develop. Yet another really good reason that we focus on skill development at Ideanthro Movement, not just building physical attributes like strength. Okay, that is plenty for this episode. Thank you for tuning in. If you would like to find out more about what we do at Ideanthro, you can go to ideanthro.com/movement. If you'd like to come down to our Oxley facility for a free trial, you can find us at ideanthro.com/free-trial. And if you'd like to get in touch with a question, maybe suggest a topic for an episode, maybe you want to debate something you've seen in one of these episodes, you can find us at ideanthro.com/connect. Okie dokie, I hope you found that useful. If you did, give us a like and subscribe if you want to. You don't have to. There's no skin off my nose. That was really good, given the itchy nose at the beginning of the episode. I didn't mean to make that pun. Okay, no skin off my nose, but thank you for tuning in. We will see you next time.